So here's the thing. I'm going to be very vulnerable today and be very transparent on a topic that's somewhat embarrassing to me. But I'm willing to speak out against it because I don't want others to fall into the same trap. Here's what happened. Nat Turner tried to scam me on X, and I'm going to tell you the complete story. You ready? Then let's do this. Well, friends, you heard correctly. Nat Turner tried to scam me on X. Thankfully, I was able to catch it and nothing happened. But I'm going to get into the details of it. But I'm going to set the stage a little bit for you here. It was a Thursday morning, and this all happened a couple of days ago on Thursday. Now, mind you, for the most of this conversation on X that I had, it was during my workday. So I am responding to these messages in the middle of my workday as I'm running certain tasks or doing certain things. If I went to the bathroom, I would check up, or on my lunch break, I was kind of going back and forth with him, and it ended up being a scam, you guys. And thankfully I caught it in time and nothing was done. But real interesting. I want to kind of share with you how it went down and kind of my frame of mind and thinking at the time. So let me share with you this screen. It happened on Thursday morning, about 8:30 in the morning. I ended up getting a message on X that said Nat Turner followed you. And I found it interesting, and I didn't pay it no mind, and I went on about my days. Well, as you see here in the timeline on at 8:53, he messages me and says, hello. Now, if you look at up here, I see his thumbnail here, Nat Turner, CEO of Collectors. And you see all of his thing here that really mimics his real bio identically. Now this down here, joined September 11th, 4,600 followers. That I didn't see. I didn't see that till much later. I just saw this and his bio, and I thought it was him. But you see here at 8:53 says, hello. I responded, good morning, sir. An hour later, he responds, how's it going? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is kind of weird. Why would somebody like Nat Turner try to make small talk with me? I basically responded at 10:19. I responded, doing good, plugging away at hobby content creation. This Dr. Beckett episode with P. Ryan seems to be this week's headline. Sheesh. Excited because last week I completed my Tim Duncan rookie card run for the registry. So I'm basically it seems like he's wanting to create conversation. So I kind of just brought about a couple of pieces of conversation that I thought would relate to him. Is kind of my thinking here. At 1:38 p.m. here, he responds and he says, man, that's awesome. That Beckett episode been all over my feed. Definitely stirred up the hobby crowd. Finishing the Duncan run is huge, though. Big respect for that grind. It's not easy. It's not an easy one to complete. And I thought to myself, the Tim Duncan rookie card run is kind of easy to complete. It's nothing really major. So, but I thought he was just being cordial. So it didn't like really trigger any red flags for me. At this point, he says here, do you trade the financial markets too? And then I found that question really odd. But mind you, let me remind you that I am at work. I am doing my daily task. I am speaking with my peers at work. I am doing a lot of different things throughout the day. And I'm typically not glued to my phone. I have to basically look at my phone when I get a chance. And I don't sometimes have the ability to think things all the way through. So that's kind of what's happening here. I responded like 10 minutes later. I says, no, not in the traditional sense. No, my focus has always been the sports card market, but I do approach it with the same discipline you'd see in financial trade, like studying trends, supply, demand, and market psychology. That mindset actually led me to develop a classification system for identifying true rookie cards, sort of a fundamentals-based framework for collectors. My goal's been to bring some clarity and structure to that side of the hobby. So here I'm trying to, here now I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe my affiliation with Card Ladder and my relationship with those folks, maybe there's a connection there that he's kind of inquiring about. So I kind of basically just shared a little bit of what I do and why I do it, is my thinking. And so he responds here at 3:44 now. Now, at this time of day, I am typically on my way home. I am doing 80 to 94 miles an hour, down 80, 94, trying to get home from work. But it's like typically when I am on driving, I do not like to get on my phone at all. So at 3:44, he responds, that's mighty structured thinking right there. You've turned card collecting into a science. But tell me, when you're looking through those rookie cards, do you ever feel something deeper in them? Like the fire of a young player trying to make his name? Or is it all charts and trends to you, no heartbeat behind the cardboard? And so when I read this, I got home and this was like a really serious question for me. It almost felt almost like an interview now at this point. I'm like, what the heck? Why am I in this conversation with Nat Turner, probably one of the most important men in the hobby, probably one of the most wealthiest men in the hobby? Why am I having this conversation with this man right now? I gave this response a lot of time, and I made sure to answer very carefully. And this is where I feel a little stupid, maybe even a little naive, maybe a little careless of me. But I gave this response to this questioning here a lot of thought, and I carved out a pretty long answer here. Let me show it to you here. Now this is at 5 o'clock. I responded. I said, this is a great question, Nat. Honestly, that's the perfect balance I'm always chasing. I love the structure, the filtering through the fluff, as I refer to it, but there's definitely a heartbeat there too. My older peers poked fun at my Wemby PC, but I saw that eye of the tiger early on. And as I dug through the 3,700 plus cards from his rookie season, I also saw his first shot at legacy, his potential captured on cardboard. The end result? A curated list of only about 30 true rookie cards, not including parallels, of course. This is what keeps me so passionate about what I do. Each rookie card marks the beginning of a story. My system is just a way to honor that, a means to cut through the noise with the help of historical evolution of the rookie card, legal authorities through the PAs, and like a scientist, I try to bring order to the chaos. What about you, Nat? What's your take on today's ultra-modern rookie card? Do they still move the needle for you, or meh? So here I'm trying to establish I'm trying to establish greater understanding for him to understand the concept of what I'm doing. It seems like he wanted me to dig deeper, and that's what I did. I dug deeper and gave him a more elaborate response to the system, right, that I use. And he responded at approximately 5:17 p.m. He says, I love how you framed that. A first shot at legacy. Totally get it. That's the magic right there. I'm with you. The modern stuff still has flashes of that energy, but there's so much noise now, it's hard to find the real ones. I've always felt the best rookies tell a story that lines up with scarcity when it's earned, not manufactured. That's when a card actually means something. Out of those 30 Wembys, which one's your gut pick? The one that feels like him, not just the one with the biggest price tag. And random thought, you ever channel that same analytical side into the markets? You've clearly got an eye for pattern and timing. Wouldn't surprise me if you're just as sharp there. So here, man, this is where I think this scam artist really did some work here. This response to me is perhaps AI generated. He seemed to know a little bit too much about scarcity, manufactured scarcity versus natural scarcity. He just seemed very in tune, but then at the end there, he switched it back into the markets. And I'm like, why is this guy bringing up the markets? I'm like, okay, so he's probably got some background in the markets and that. He's probably, trying to help me out to get into investing, that sort of thing. But at the end of his response here at 5:17 p.m., he responded with some seemingly hobby knowledge, but then quickly switched it back to markets. And my response didn't happen till like after dinner. At 7:12 p.m. now, I responded, I probably should look into the markets. Much better ROI, laugh out loud. I typically lean on my financial advisor to handle that side of things for me. I typically don't like to give my picks because so much of it is subjective. I'm switching it back to cards. But we all like certain cards for certain reasons. But since you asked, Hoops card number 227 is the flagship product, always a favorite of mine. They did a fabulous job on it too. Also, the 1 and 1 card number 122 displays a spectacular dunk, and photogenic card number 200 is a great shot of him doing a defensive block. Well, at this point now, I'm getting suspicious, and it goes an extra step here on the next text. He writes, "Well, that's amazing. If you are looking into some investing opportunities, I do have a few that might be of interest to you." And I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? I started getting suspicious, but I still wasn't 100% sure. I responded, I was in the middle of stuff that night, but he says, "Do tell, always willing to listen and learn," this was my response. But at this point now, I'm starting to research. As soon as I sent this message here, I started doing some digging into who this account really is. And he writes, "Well, not basically referring to holding, but copy trading." Okay, so copy trading is a system created to help both experienced and inexperienced traders make profit. Imagine that I've spent 20 years in the market and developed a consistent strategy that works for me, and you, on the other hand, are a beginner. Instead of having to learn everything again, you have the opportunity to copy my portfolio like in a trading mirroring system. And when he sent this, I started doing some, I went to ChatGPT and started punching in some questions about copy trading. And this is basic. It's a legit thing. I mean, it's a strategy for investing for beginners. But it also gave kind of like some warnings, some do's and don'ts type of thing. And so I learned a little bit there on copy trading is what I did. And here was my response at 9:12 p.m. At this point, I'm saying this cannot be. Nat Turner doesn't have the time or energy to spend this amount of time. This is like an all-day conversation at this point. This started at 9 a.m. and it's now 9 p.m. at night. And I'm saying to myself, this is something's going on here. And listen to my response on 9:12. "Interesting. Give me some time to research this. I really appreciate this opportunity. Curious, would I be copying you? Also, what would be the least amount I would need to get started or worthwhile?" He writes here, "Well, yes, you can copy me and many more experts with options to select from." And here he starts sending me images of this website or app called Expert Copy Solutions. And these are all people that you can go on this site and you can follow them and copy their investing strategy. And all of this stuff is legit. There's nothing shady here with copy trading. There's nothing shady with this website. This is all legitimate stuff here. And but he sends me a slew of images here of people that I can connect with. These are some of the experts available to copy from. If you look there, you'll see some familiar names and faces. Well, I don't know what he meant by that because I looked at everybody on this list and none of them seemed familiar to me. I don't know anybody. Startup depends on you, but the minimum amount to start on the platform is $500. Okay. I gave him a thumbs up and he responds at 9:53 p.m. He says, "I have a huge portfolio on this app, not a trader on this. I only copy trades from Plan B, Benjamin Cower, and a few." So at this point now, he is referring me to a specific person. Maybe, so Plan B, Benjamin Cohen would be this guy right here who has he doesn't even have a photo of himself. He's just got this little image of a hat here, it looks like. So that was really shady to me here. And my response was, at this point, it's 6:50 in the morning the following day. Okay, this is when I'm at work at this hour of the day, and I responded, "Okay, cool. Thanks for the info and recommendation. Definitely interested, but still want to do some homework. I will start with a small amounts as I go through the learning curve." And he says, "Okay, definitely fine with me." And I already knew at this point, I already knew that this guy, I knew in my heart, in my gut, this guy is a scam artist. And but at this point, he says, "Okay, definitely fine with me. I'll send you the info so you can sign up and get back to me." Nat Turner would not sound this thirsty. This is just really uh, interesting how it's unfolding. It's starting to unravel here, and he starts getting really aggressive, sending me all of these messages. Um, he starts sending me a link now, right, so I can sign up. Quick question: you have a Telegram, or what other texting platform do you use? I responded, I typically just use any of the DMs through social media, Google Chat, or my iPhone. By Google Chat, do you mean Teams? And here he even gives me his business cell. Please call me. Send me a text on my business cell. Um, and here is my response at 7:36 a.m. I said I was going to do some homework. Well, my research shows me that this is a scam based on a fake Nat Turner account. Nice try. And his response a minute later was, "Well, I understand your skepticism, considering the fact that I'm not chatting from my main account. Not forcing you into anything. Had a nice time chatting with you." And that's the last message he sent me. Friends, this is very humbling. This is very embarrassing. This is, and at the same time, I feel like it's my responsibility to share with the community so that they don't get scammed into these types of things. And I'm grateful that I caught it. I'm grateful that as I dug into this account a little deeper, I went to X. Here, I'll show you what I did. And I'd search for Nat Turner. Okay. And what happened was there is two accounts that popped up. This one, and if you see here, Nat Turner, um, the thumbnail for these accounts, the avatar for both of these accounts are identical. The name is identical, except if you see here on the fake account, he adds an R. So it's Nat's Turner. And on the real account that has the verified button, it is Nat's Turner, right? So he added an R. I caught that. But everything else, and if you look at the bio, is identical. If you look at the everything up here is all identical. And if you look at the posts are all identical. If you go to the real Nat Turner's account, these are all of his exact posts. He copies them literally post by post. I went back into the real Nat Turner's post or Twitter account. Um, again, if you see here, identical. And so this was quite shocking to me. And you start to see the scheme unfold before my very eyes. And that, my friends, is the lowdown on what has happened this week. Now, I did have more things to add for the weekly rookie card report. I'm just going to hold on to them and keep them organized in my Trello account, and I will just transfer them over into next week. I wanted this episode to be specifically about this scam. I think the hobby needs to be aware of it, and I want us to have an understanding of what's going on out there. In the middle of my workday, in the middle of distractions of everyday life, I got caught up in a conversation with somebody who was not who I thought it was. And again, it's somewhat embarrassing, humbling. I was caught a little bit naive or maybe distracted, but I just thank goodness that I was able to catch it and wanted to share with you. It's a little PSA about PSA's Nat Turner. There is fake accounts out there going around trying to scam people. Be mindful of that and be careful out there, guys. Not everything is as what it seems. Well, stay tuned for much more episodes coming up as I continue the pre-war series. Next up will be an episode with Dan's Vintage Baseball. And excuse the background. I am trying to, as you know, I have an echo in here. So I am trying to get some things in this room to kind of absorb some of that echo. I did get these 3 bookshelves back here. I got 3 more bookshelves on this corner of the room, and I am going to be getting some acoustic soundboards and basically just tighten up the sound quality here. Check out some of the resources that I have on the comments down below. There's a lot of great resources I have. Rookie card guidelines and best practices, the pre-war glossary, You can get a link to purchase my book on Amazon, or you can purchase the book directly through me. Lots of great resources for you guys. Lots of great content scheduled on the horizon. And with that said, I want to remind you, my friends, that not all rookie cards and social media accounts are created equal. Until next time, buenos nachos, muchachos.